last night was a complete rejection of the President of the United States and what he stands for. You can't sugarcoat it. There were four main Democratic themes in this election that simply did not work. Democrats focused on income inequality, the war on women, voting rights, and fighting bad trade deals. Now, those themes, well, they just didn't ring true with voters.
All right. You know, I actually agree with Ed Schultz. Write this date down. We're going to get to back to our panel, to Rick Ungar and Tom Borelli. But first, I want to remind all of you, ladies and gentlemen, out there about the great new book. It's about a month or so old by now, and it's an Amazon #1 bestseller, has been from day one. It's by a Newsmax contributor and political analyst Dick Morris. It's called Power Grab: Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. There it is on the screen. I really recommend that you get your copy of this book. Everybody has one. Go to powergrab411.com. That's what you do. Powergrab411.com and get your copy now. All right, co-host of Steele Ungar and senior political contributor for Forbes.com, Rick Ungar, and senior fellow at FreedomWorks, Tom Borelli. Let's start with Rick, because Rick wrote a piece at Forbes.com talking about how Hillary was a big winner on Tuesday, Rick, and I got to tell you, Al Sharpton and Mark Halpern and a whole host of others, including me. I can't believe I lumped myself in with that group. They disagree. We all disagree with you. And if Ed Schultz is correct, and all those issues that he talked about were rejected, Hillary went around the country campaigning for candidates on those issues, and they all lost.
I think we probably all agree that if there was a rejection of anybody in this election, it wasn't a past president and it wasn't a potential future president, it was a current president. So I don't think that has a lot of meaning. The reason I wrote what I wrote, though, Steve, you know, Hillary's biggest challenge, certainly within the Democratic Party, is a challenge from the left. If I am running the Democratic Party today and I'm looking at these election results, I pretty much get that the one thing this country is not that interested in is a presidential candidate from the far left. I think what that does is relieve a lot of pressure on Hillary. You've seen her running to the left the past few weeks, and we probably both agree the results haven't been that good. I think this puts the focus more on letting Hillary be Hillary and sitting where she's the most comfortable. And that's why I said what I said. You know, not only does it help her win primaries, but she doesn't go into a general with all the battle scars and sound bites that a challenge from the left would give her.
What about it, Tom? I mean, unless she runs unopposed, there will be somebody from the left, whether it's Warren or Sanders or somebody, you would think, and she will have to gravitate to the left for the people who turn out in primaries.
Well, she already has gravitated out to the left. Remember, she said recently that businesses, something like that, don't create jobs.
Yep.
That's a big leap to the left. You know, listen, she's got to be the favorite. I don't think
exactly.
The last 2 years, 2 years is a long time. Nobody's going to remember that she was out campaigning for whoever. I think the bigger problem she has is when it comes to the general election, if she's the nominee, is that this big vote was about the failures of big government. The polls show people don't believe the government. They don't trust the government. And if she's out there saying, I can engineer the government a little bit better, I'm not sure if that's really going to be the selling message.
Right. And Rick, what does she do? Does she divorce herself from all the policies that Obama has put forth and will put forth in the next 2 years, the vetoes that he's going to give to the bills passed by the Senate and the House? I mean, is she going to have to completely renounce Obama?
It's pretty hard to answer that question without knowing what is ahead of us in the next 2 years. So I probably shouldn't try. We can have this conversation probably a lot better in about a year. I want to point out, Tom really did reinforce my point in what he said, because he's right. Hillary has been running to the left for the past month or so, and he quoted a great example of that ridiculous remark that she made. It isn't helping her. She is much better off today than she was the day before the election. And Tom is also right. Nobody's going to recall who she supported, who she didn't support. This is a good thing for her. You know, you can argue whether or not it's a good thing for the Democratic Party in general, but it's definitely a good thing for Hillary. And we'll see what happens with Obama in the next 2 years.
All right. Yeah, we will. And but she should then keep her, going on your premise, she should keep her mouth shut for a while, because all these sound bites that she's providing for ads against her in the future, that can't be too good.
Well, you notice she's not anxious to announce her candidacy.
Yeah, no, I have noticed that. All right, guys, really appreciate you sticking around. Great panel, Rick Ungar and Tom Borelli. Up next, Professor of History and Public Affairs at Princeton University, Julian Zelzer, and don't miss that.